Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Audit Committee meeting for the City of New York dated November 12th. The first order of business, the acting secretary from the last meeting, fortunately, he's away on vacation because his wife is about to give birth, so they figured they'd get this in. So for this meeting, I'd like to appoint Lionel as acting secretary. Can I have a motion?
Motion to accept.
Thank you. At this point, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Leah now.
Roll call. Mike Spixer, Chair.
Here.
Mark Kaplan.
Present.
Larry and Angelo.
Present.
Bud Larson.
Present.
Representing Controller Stringer, Jacqueline Thompson.
Present.
Representing Mayor Bill de Blasio, Raymond Lee.
Present.
Representing Public Advocate Williams, Michael Toomey.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The next order of business, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the October 23rd meeting.
I so move. Second.
Thank you. The first order of business is the presentation by a brand-new component unit to the city's CAFA, the Public Realm Improvement Fund Governing Group, Inc.
Longest time there is.
Possibly. For one transaction, they got the longest title. I'd like to turn the meeting over to you now, and could you please introduce yourselves and give a brief overview of what is Realm?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I'm Kim Vicari. I'm the CFO of EDC, which is why we look familiar to you, because EDC is managing the financial statements for the governing group at this time. I'm joined by Amy Chan, who is our deputy controller, who did the audited financial statements with our outside auditor, UHY. So the Public Realm Improvement Fund governing group was formed out of the East Midtown rezoning. It was formed by the zoning text. It's a group, literally a group of, I think it's got 13 members. It's chaired by the Deputy Mayor for Economic Development. It also has representatives from DCP, OMB, EDC. President serves as the treasurer, and I'm his designee, which is why we are doing the financial statements for them. They have no staff of their own. This was the first year that they had a transaction and that we did audited financial statements for them. EDC managed the process. We did an RFP and got an outside auditor. It was UHY. There was one financial transaction. We had an audit committee of the board. They reviewed the financials. They approved the financials. And going forward, we will probably have the governing group sort of do their own funds, but for now, EDC is holding the money for them. Basically, it's in a bank account in their name. We have no authority to spend it in any way unless it's directed by the board of directors of the governing group. They meet quarterly, and so we're really just holding the money for them. But even so, we had to comply with PAAA rules, so we did full financial statements. We have full policies and procedures, full internal controls, full everything, even though it's a very small group at this time. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Amy to walk through the financials, which, as you said, really consisted of one transaction. There will be more, hopefully, as the development in East Midtown picks up, but for this particular fiscal year, there was just the one.
Good morning, everyone. So if I can draw your attention, I don't know if you guys have the financials in front of you, to page 6. That's our income statement. So for the year ended June 30, 2019, as Kim had stated, there was only one transaction in the amount of $41.7 million for the contribution income due to the transfer of development rights for Grand Central Terminal located at 270 Park Ave to JP Morgan for the build-out of their new headquarters. This amount was valued by the city's Department of Planning, and the only other transaction is the interest income related to the $41.7 million deposit. Happy to take any questions.
The 43 million's classified as restricted, so what purpose is it restricted for?
It's only allowed to be used for items within the governing group's concept plan.
What is that?
Sorry. So the governing group's board has a concept plan that has a number of different projects throughout the East Midtown zoning area for public realm improvements. They're doing transit improvements, roadway improvements, open space improvements, all of this sort of amenities you need to make that East Midtown area attractive for building. So you'll notice some of the ones that have been completed so far are they shut down 41st Street and made it a pedestrian way. They put ballards and planters and tables. They've also worked over at near Pershing Square to clear up that open space. So mostly it's open space improvement and transit improvements. They have presentations by the MTA and DDC at every board meeting, and their concept plan is quite extensive. But right now, there's only been there's active projects ongoing. So those are the only things that this money can be spent on.
Thank you. Are there any other
Is that-
questions?
All right, is that 40-some odd million dollars that you got, did that come from Morgan Chase?
It came from
In order to
JP
enable them
Morgan.
to demolish the building?
It came from JP Morgan. JP Morgan was required to make a deposit into this fund to make to pay for the amenities around the new headquarters that they're building. Transit improvement, bikeway improvement, pathway improvement, open space. So the developers have to pay for all of the public realm improvements in that district going forward.
And how was that amount determined?
It is I don't, Go ahead.
It is a formula that is based on square footage, price per square footage. And I think it was about 260,000 square feet.
It's a formula
The form- Okay, now I have some picayune stuff. First of all, I think the official name of the city of New York is with a capital T. You should know that. I always raise that. I've been doing it for years. And then I have some more questions, though. I'll give you this, you can look at it. There's some
Okay.
singulars and plurals that are not, but there's a statement here that on page 3 that says, or that rebuild non-compliance floor area. I don't understand that at all.
Which section?
Page 3. Says, or that rebuild non-compliant floor area. What does that mean? The last sentence on the page.
I can clarify that for you. I'm not.
I don't think you have to clarify for me. Somebody who reads this thing ought to
Yeah.
know what it means, and I don't think it tells me anything. So that's one thing. Then,
Excuse me, if you have a written reply, please send it to the secretary, and we'll get you all those details.
there is something in here on page 4 that also caught my eye. It says, this financial report is designed to provide our customers, clients, and creditors with general overview. As far as I know, you don't have any creditors. You don't really have any customers, do you?
You're our customers.
Well, I understand that, but what this is really is, this is kind of a restricted statement here.
I think it's just a general statement that it puts in, that most financial statements have. And
I
customers
must
are
tell
the
you, if you
people
look
that
at
are reading.
if you look at a lot of city financial statements, you don't see that constraint down there. And then, I know you accountants may want to have it, but there's on some page 6, the whole paragraph about estimates is irrelevant to this situation. I know that the auditors like to see it, but it doesn't make any sense, because all you have is money.
The auditors, yeah.
Now, the cash you have in the banks, are those deposits collateralized?
They're in a money market sweep. So every night it gets swept into a money market account, and then it's brought back. It's not up to 250 collateralized?
Yeah, it's 250 FDIC insured.
It's insured,
And
okay,
then what's not is swept.
okay. And I like the fact that it said with 40-some odd $1 million, you may at times exceed the limit. Okay. One more minute, and I'll finish with you. Okay, I'll be happy to give you this. You can
Okay.
fix up the singulars and the plurals.
I know we do that capital T. We go back and forth with you on that.
I know.
Sometimes we capitalize it, and then our marketing department says don't capitalize it.
I believe if you look at the city charter, you'll find the capital T.
Okay, that'll work.
If you like, I'll send you a copy.
No, I'm gonna, because I have this, yeah.
Are there any other questions or comments?
So you know, back on page 4, you talk about your creditors. Can you bond? Can you issue bonds?
Okay, if there are no other comments or questions, thank you for coming this morning, and good
you.
luck.
It's a shame to have to spend money on an audit for something like this.
At this time, I'd like to have a motion to move into executive, recess and go into executive session to discuss financial matters that, you know, like for the Department of Education.
Somebody else ought to make the motion, but I'll do it again. I move.
Thank you.
Next time you.
I make a recommendation that we adjourn.
Received and accepted, thank you.